Hi, I'm Wendy Spencer, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about my trip from Disney that I just got back from, and really how I survived with 3 kids under 5, and my tips and tricks to make it a really great trip for you too. Obviously, you're going to have a different experience than us, but for me, these were really like the things that I wanted to do over again, or if I had to tell someone those greatest parts of it, these are what they would be. Okay, I would recommend going the first to third week in December. Honestly, I don't like a bunch of crowds. I have little kids, they don't like a bunch of crowds, and the double bonus is that it's totally decorated for Christmas. And so while you're there, you can go to the Mickey Christmas, the Very Merry Christmas Parade, you get free hot chocolate and Christmas cookies. And as a triple bonus, I personally made this our family present this year. I'm really trying to focus on staying away from more stuff. And so the experience of going to Disney with a 1, 3, and 4-year-old, while they may want a bunch of presents under the tree, the fact that we can talk about Disney and bring our Disney things out and look at our pictures on Christmas Day with just some stocking stuff, that makes me feel like that money was a little more well spent versus going at some other point in the year. Is to bring a car. Maybe this isn't ideal for everyone, but as a mom of 3, like I said, I'm a single mom of 3, and my dad did come to end up helping with the baby just because I tore my ACL a couple weeks before we went. Obviously less than ideal to go to Disney. Having a vehicle there, there's free parking if you're staying in one of the resorts. So you can really come and go as you please. And I tried to take the bus one day, and obviously when you're a mom with little kids, you're gonna bring your stroller to Disney because they're gonna get tired and they're going to want a nap. And my stroller fits 3 kids. It's a really awesome, like city jogger where I love it, but it doesn't fold up easily. And then you're packing on the bus and waiting in lines. Not for me, not really ideal for my kids. But having our car meant we could go out and get groceries if we really wanted to. We could potentially drive to the park and leave halfway through the day and then go back and not have to wait in 4 bus lines. So, my dad luckily has a friend there that he was able to borrow his car, so we didn't have to pay out of pocket. But I know if you, go to some of the discount car places early enough that you can obviously find a cheaper vehicle. To use someone to help you plan it. I know some people, and my friend is one of these moms that she was all over the Disney boards for like 9 months and got all these awesome tips and tricks, which she totally shared with me. But, as I said, a mom with 3 little kids, and I own my own business where I work from home. I wanted to help someone else have that responsibility. I didn't have to pay her anything because so for example, it's my friend Kim, and she works for this company that's called Magical Moments, and I didn't have to pay her anything because it's part of like this deal that they have with Disney. And she set up my entire reservation. She got all of our character dining. She set up, the shuttle to the airport, to the resort. She set up all of that. And then when prices dropped and I was able to get discounts on certain things, guess who didn't have to worry about missing that? She was all over it, and then she saved me like $600. So, little things like that. I feel like having an expert help you, especially for free, that's really valuable thing. We stayed at Animal Kingdom, and I loved it. And we actually chose to stay on the club level, which was a little bit more money. However, we kind of price compared, and we really thought the value was much higher. And here's the reasons why I thought the value was higher. 1, there's food all day long. You can wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and you can get, full breakfast. I mean, it's not like you're sitting down and someone's serving you, but there's oatmeal and cereal. It's more like a continental breakfast, but it's solid. Like my kids left breakfast feeling really full with healthy food, ready to take on the day. So that was amazing. And then throughout the rest of the day, from 11 to 10 p.m. at night, there are, light appetizers, heavy appetizers, beer and wine for free, available upon request, which if you're anything like me and you've had a full day at Disney with your kids, isn't it kind of nice just to go up to the top floor and get a couple of glasses of wine in a wine glass and not have to worry about it? Plus, it's nice to have that help. Like, I was changing a couple reservations, and while my friend who, set us up with the whole package could have helped me, when you're on the, the club level, you just go to the 2 people who are assigned to you, who are there the entire time, who know you, who know your kids, and you say, hey, this is what I want to change. Beep, 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 it's done. So if you do have a little more money to spend up front, I highly recommend taking that leap, and it's not even that much, but getting the club level. Also, staying at Animal Kingdom was for me a chance to have like that breath, because there aren't any characters there, and you can truly look up. We had the Savannah view, so you would wake up in the morning and you could see the giraffes and the rhinos literally 50 feet from your balcony. And it's not like some forced zoo, like they're able to roam and range everywhere. But then your kids aren't as caught up in just the commercialization of Disney, I guess, because that was something I was anxious about. I wanted them to love Disney, but not be only caught up in the stuff, okay? If you're a co-sleeping family like we are, the beds move together. So no need to worry about all the other stuff that comes with trying to put 2 kids in one bed and someone rolling out. Just push the kids together against the wall. Like, the beds are not, structured in the floor at all. And they make it really easy. So move the beds together. Bring your own water bottles. Maybe this one's kind of a given for a lot of people, but it's not easy to get water at Disney, surprisingly. I really thought it would be, but it's not. So bring your own water bottles. And a little tip and trick that I learned is that if you go to any of their restaurants, they will give you a glass of ice water for free. So you don't even have to buy bottled water. You can just go to any of the places and say, could I have a glass of water? And they'll give you that nice cold glass of water, and you didn't have to pay anything for it. Use your 3 fast passes. Maybe this is silly for some, but for our family, especially having a 3- and 4-year-old at the park, I did not want them inundated and exhausted at the end of the day where then they couldn't wake up at the next day. And literally, for us, those 3 fast passes were enough. Because there's so much to do for little kids that don't involve waiting in line. Like, if you go over to Hollywood Studios, there's this huge playground that, you can basically let them just play. And they pretend like they've shrunken, you've been shrunken. So the blades of grass are, 20 feet tall, and the spiders are, 8 feet wide. So, it's a really cool type of thing for the kids just to have that space to be little kids and not just be around all the hustle and bustle of Disney, because it was a way for them to take that breath, still play and have fun, but us moms could kind of sit around and not worry about that. I personally didn't want to wait in line to get pictures with the characters with my little kids because they don't really get it. They're excited to see Buzz Lightyear and they can't wait to wave at Belle, but they were not going to be cool standing in line for a half an hour. If we did see a character pop up and there was a short line of 10 people, yeah, we got in those pictures. But, we went to Breakfast with Mickey, where we saw all of the traditional Disney characters, like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, Minnie. And you get pictures with all of them. They literally, as you're eating, because it's included in the cost of the breakfast, every single character comes through and you have to stop eating and you take your picture, but then you have basically killed 2 birds with 1 stone, right? You've got all these character pictures that your kids will look at and love on, and you've gotten a really good meal. It's not like your typical fair cheap food. It's really high quality and yummy food. And then the second character dining we did was at Cinderella's castle, and it was really nice, because I think personally, as an adult, I have always wanted to kind of go into Cinderella's castle to see what it was like, and I've never been in there. And so to go in and see really how they've made it, still like a castle, but they have tables set up for you to eat. And then there at Cinderella's castle, all of the princesses come through. So, and they are, they exemplify really the complete character of who the princess is. But there's not that commercialization factor, I guess, because they're real people and they're being kind and gracious and interested in your child, and they're showing more than just the character that they may or may not have seen in that video. Go with friends. Especially when you have little kids. While it's great to just go with your spouse or if you don't have a spouse, going to Disney just on your own, I just don't think you can really enjoy it as much as an adult. When you're with other friends who go there with you, and I have some really awesome friends, it's kind of nice to be able to tag team watching the kids. If someone really just wants a break, then you'd say, hey, I'm gonna take the kids and head to the pool, and you just take a shower, right? Or whatever it is, through the day, for your kids to be able to be with other kids that they know in such a large space. It just made it more fun for everyone. And, it was really enjoyable, both for my kids and for me, to be able to have that support system of other people to laugh at, to decide what to do. We didn't even do everything together, but our hotel rooms were adjoining. So we would see each other in the morning, and then we would plan out what we were going to do. And we'd meet up either intermittently throughout the day, or we did spend one whole day together at the park. I was only there for 4 days. I think it's enough. But, some people really want to be there more. If you are going to be there longer, I would spread it out and not go to the parks every day. Just kind of enjoy being in, such a beautiful place, because Disney has done a really good job, at least at Animal Kingdom's Lodge, of making it a wonderful place to stay, making it a beautiful hotel, beautiful surroundings, excellent customer service. And if you're going to be paying for that for your vacation, that's really what you should be getting, right? So my last tip, which does not apply to everyone, and I say this with embarrassment, but like I told you in the beginning, that I tore my ACL a few weeks ago before we left on our vacation. And I have a full leg brace, and I was like, I can do this. I'm tough. I'm a mom. And so those first 2 days at the park, I walked the whole day with this full leg brace on. And at night, my leg would just ache. It was miserable. But I thought, how else can I do this? I have a stroller with 2 little kids. Well, therein comes the scooters. If you are going to get a scooter, I recommend you get it a couple days before, or book it with your reservation, because they're cheaper and they're faster if you buy them not at the resort, or rent them not at the resort. But if you do get a scooter and you do get it at the resort, you're not supposed to have your kids on it. So I have to probably premise this with that. But, my kids would walk a little bit, and then they jump on with me. And the fact that I was along the same lines as really old people, or people who couldn't walk for whatever reason, was sometimes a little bit of an ego, take down the ego a notch. But my kids loved it. They weren't even worried about not being in the stroller anymore. When my little girl fell asleep, I just rested her on my arm. And then we ended up meeting up with my friend who was there, who had an open stroller spot for her. So that be my last little tip. If you do have an injury, don't be too embarrassed to get the scooter. Okay, so that's my takeaways from, how I did it as a single mom at Disney with 3 kids under the age of 5, and still had a blast, and didn't feel like I was over commercializing my children, because they haven't even seen that many Disney movies. It was more just about the magic and the wonder, and the awe and the laughter that you get to see on their faces, whether or not they know every Disney character, just the scale of it. And seeing that smile on their faces, that's really what it's about, right? It's not about them knowing the name of every princess, or, worrying about whatever ride you're going to go on. Okay, so I hope you have a really awesome day. If you have any Disney questions, or if you want the name of my friend who booked everything for me, just shoot me an email, wendy@wendyspencerfitness.com, or you can always find me on Facebook. Wendy Jo Spencer is my name. And yeah, I would highly recommend Disney. We're probably not going to go for another 2 to 3 years, just so the baby can be older. He was terrified of the characters, so I ended up not even having him go to the second character breakfast for that. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, always feel free to come find me. I love to talk about, the stuff that's working for me as a mom, and try to help you figure out how to make that work for a mom as for yourself too. Okay, bye-bye.